Good afternoon, dear guest. I'm here today with Dr. Warinya Chimnasiri, that will be moderating with me this section. And we are very pleased to welcome you all to the 6th webinar of the School of Integrated Innovation, Chulalongkorn University. After exploring the broad issue of globalization and international trade in the aftermath of COVID-19, we welcome you to this webinar, the first with a strong industry focus on telecommunication and 5G technologies. We hear every day about the upcoming 5G technologies that will reshape the digitalization of businesses and consumption alike. However, it is time now to deep dive into this exciting revolution. We have witnessed that COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the digitalization of many industries, including the higher education industry. 5G has the potential to make this change everlasting. With ultra-low power connectivity, 5G promises speeds up to 5 times faster, 10 times more responsive than 4G. 5G is an important infrastructure to support the wide development of Industry 4.0. It is one of the development framework of Thailand. And 5G will drive enterprise digitalization in 5 emerging technologies: Internet of Things, AI, 3D printing, advanced robotics, virtual reality, and augmented reality. And all of these are some of the core specializations of our School of Integrated Innovation. Enhanced connectivity in ASEAN will generate additional revenues that have been estimated around $150 billion by 2025. So please, Dr. Warinya, introduce the topics and our guest today. Thank you. Dr. Warinya, I think you are muted. You need to unmute your microphone.
Sorry, thank you, Dr. Pietro. So now we, the School of Integrated Innovation, Chulalongkorn University, cordially welcome you to join us in this webinar, as we are honored to give the digital floor to 3 eminent executives in the telecom industry. First, Mr. Warakan Likit Dechasak, the CTO of Huawei, Thailand. Mr. Warakan graduated in Australia, has more than 15-year experience in telecom, and has successfully introduced Huawei 3G, 4G, and 5G network in Thailand. Now he is working on network architecture for 5G future-oriented telecommunications. He engaged with government and private sector to stimulate Thai telecom industry development. Next, we have Mr. Yongsit Rotsikun, Chief Enterprise Business Office at AIS. Mr. Rotsikun is a senior executive with more than 20 years in the telecommunication industry, corporate internet server providing, and cloud computing. He helped build one of Asia's largest satellite companies, Telecom. He has been an advisor to Thai Parliament House and a governor of MRT in Bangkok. And last but not least, we have Mr. Nopadon Gongthongnok, Operation Director and Chief of Staff at Luminum Thailand. Mr. Gongthongnok possesses more than 20 years of experience in a number of high-end technology companies in engineering roles at senior management level. Among the highlights of his career, he has implemented manufacturing factory setup and transfer in Malaysia and Thailand. So first, we would like to invite Mr. Warakan to take the stage on for the first speech. His topic will be on 5G bringing new values, creating new business opportunity in Thailand. Please, Mr. Warakan. Mr. Warakan, you may have the speech now on the topic.
Kun Waragan?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear us? We pass the digital floor to you, and in the meantime, we asked our officers to share your presentation.
Thank you very much. So would you help me to flip the pages of the slides, my presentation slides?
Yes.
Throughout the presentations.
I think your file is quite big. It's
It is.
many megabytes, so I think it takes a little bit of time to upload it. Well, maybe in the meantime, we just told me that your file is too big and we cannot download. So maybe whilst our IT officers are trying to solve this problem, maybe you can just like briefly introduce Huawei Technologies Thailand and what you are doing for the digitization of Thai economy.
Okay, so how about while we are probably fixing on the slides, or I'll take you through what I have prepared, probably without the slides first.
Yes,
and then
sure.
see if we have the slides. Yeah, if we got the slides later on, then I'll go right back to that one. But I'll make sure I'm not trying to compromise any valuable information that I'll prepare.
We appreciate this. And yeah,
Okay.
I mean, technical inconvenience are always around the corner. So
it's all right. It's all right. Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. Pietro and Chulalongkorn University for the opportunities to let me and also Huawei Technology to be part of this sessions and sharing the technologies, knowledge and experience. I think 5G is one of the most important and the most interesting topics and the technologies. Here it comes.
Yes, here we are.
Okay. Right. So we're good to go, right?
Yep, sure.
Okay. So here it is. That's my topic today. That would take you around probably 20 to 30 minutes. So that's mainly we're talking about 5Gs, and it's actually what we have discovered is that it is one of the most important components that gonna bring back the business opportunities and the better situations of both economy and society in Thailand after the COVID-19 situations. So let's move over to the next page. Yeah, we got first we start with the major observations of the after the COVID-19 situations with the situation of working from homes and online education. So we have found out probably 4 key findings that has already changed, and probably it will be things that will be moved think about the solution to match the new behavior. So that the first of the changes what we have seen is the emergence of the new services. Of course, the online educations and the working from homes, including the video conference, become the most important applications for the past 3 months because of the COVID-19. So so you can see that lots of people probably like us, we stay on the laptop, like especially on the conference, like more than 3 to 4 hours a day, and that consumes lots more of bandwidth and the speed and the traffic loads daily. Okay, so that would be something that probably nobody has ever expected before on the first trends. The second one is while staying home, not only for the working purpose, but it brings new entertainment varieties and platform as well. We start to see some of the football leagues that do more on the live broadcasting, more platform of gaming online, because people kids tend to stay home more, and they'll try to look for something to do at home, and the streaming as well, either on the YouTube, on Netflix, and some other platforms. The kids as well, they start to have more applications on both entertainment and educational, or sometimes it's edutainment, sort of, starting having AR and VR in combination as well. So that's the second observation that we have. Next one, please. So the change number 3 is that previously, before the COVID-19 situation, so we can see that most of people on the daytime, we are going to the CBD, we are going to the city, going to the office. Then the new hotspot on the daytime is more or less in the city, while after probably like in the evening, then the telecommunication usage will be moving over to the residential area. But after the COVID-19 situation, the distributions of the hotspot and the usage has changed. So we can see that a lot more of the traffic, internet traffic, happens in the residential area almost the whole day, right? And in each and individual house, probably you have more multiple hotspots. Probably daddy is working on the one corners, mommy is working on the one corners, while kids are studying at on the other corners of the house as well. So that's totally affect the usage, hotspot distribution, and the characteristics of the entire city footprint. The fourth observation is the usage and the congestions. So the peak traffic, okay, the span of the peak traffic and the peak hour, it extend longer. So in some houses, we can see that the peak traffic probably starts from 9 in the morning, and probably it lasts until midnight, right? Because during the daytime you work, and at the nighttime you still watch TV. So that's it consumes bandwidth and internet all the time. So not only the hotspot change, but the span of the usage and the DCR also getting larger and larger as well. So these are the 4 observations that we see, and probably for the past 3 months, maybe there are some effects on when people get lots of use the internet at the same time. So that's what we believe, that having 5G added on to that one would help to improve the network quality and coverage. Okay, so then we move to the next one. So whether you like it or not, we could see that probably we are in the another phase of industrial revolution. Okay, either you are as a technologist, either you are as the engineers, or even you are just only a plain users. But we are, all of us, we are in the middle of, probably at the beginning period of the next industrial revolution, which we probably calls like the phase that having internet of everything, and including the intelligence. So what we could see is the 3 components and the 3 characteristics of these industrial revolutions, which is will be consist of, the first one will be the connections. All things will be connected. So you see more connectivities, which is probably led by 5G technologies. All the things sensing. So you see that more of the wearable devices, the sensors, all the things could turn into digital informations, and it could be able to connect it to you, but not just only for the cell phone, but there you see a lot of new varieties of devices that surprisingly in the future, probably today, it gets connected into the network. And on top of that, we can see that in order to bring the whole values out of it, and also in order to bring the whole performance and the utilities out of it, then we need the intelligence on top, which is what we call cloud and AI. So these three key technologies combined that defines the next intelligence world era. Okay, so next one. So here we are talking more a bit deeper into 5G. So what is actually 5G is for? The 5G technology is probably something that is going to be different from what we used to have previously in 3G or 4G. Previously, we probably built the network, the 4G network for consumers, right? But actually in 5G, not only consumers, but actually we are building networks for the industry. So that's the reason why we see that after we are having 5Gs, we are looking into each possible vertical industry, and those industries such as healthcare, such as manufacturing, such as agriculture, then we add one word in front of that, which is what we could say a smart. Okay, so with 5G, then you will have smart healthcare, smart agriculture, smart manufacturing, and etc. So why? Because 5G would be able to deliver the new capability, technical capabilities, and the differentiations in terms of the speed, the reliabilities, and also more connectivities. So in the future, we can see that not only we have the human subscriber, but probably we would have the non-human subscriber as well as part of the network. Okay, next one, please. Okay, so actually, in order to appreciate the 5G technologies more, actually 5G technology it would be best utilized when it ties together with AI technologies. So that's these two technologies, either from 5G and AIs, they are constructively supporting each other. While 5G is offering the quality in terms of network connectivities and the speed, AI also offers another side of the network performance, such as the automations, the intelligence, and the edge computings. So when we you can see that when you adopt a single individual technologies alone, either 5G or AI, you probably got at certain level of the growth and productivities. But once you are combining both of them, then 5G plus the AI capability, so the predicted growth and the potential it shoots up a lot, much different than a single technology adoptions. Okay, next slide, please. And this is something new to what we have seen previously in 4G. So 5G has the technology has been designed and well suited to the B2B business as well, and that is something that we have never done before in 4G. And that's what we are trying to say is that this is the new business opportunities that the new 5G ecosystem could be looking into it. Okay, so probably some of the leading vertical industry, right on the right hand side, like on the campus, on the ports, mining, the transportation, security, healthcare as well. These are the sectors, the sectors which is we probably could be looking into it, and probably some of the vertical industry probably could be considered as the first wave of technology adoptions in Thailand that would help to bring back the economy stall after COVID-19. So as you can see that GSMA has predicted that in the next few years, the estimated value of to business industry, the value here is billions, billions of dollars. So there's a lot of potential in there. Next one, please. All right. So this one we have broken down the technology into 3 levels. On the green as the foundations, we call that as the atomic capabilities of the technology. Those on the green one are the key technical capability of 5G. As you can see, either on the latency point of view, the speed points of view, the reliability, and the automations and mobility as well. These unique capabilities of 5G would combine and assemble into an atomic application of 5G. So that's lines in the middle line on the red one. So with that advantage of capability, we can see some modular solution like live broadcasting, the video surveillance, the VR and AR technologies, drones, remote control, and also autonomous cars, and also the enterprise services. So then it comes to what we ultimately looking for in order to assemble the modular solutions to be fit into different vertical industries. So by combining a few of the solutions, then we could find something probably could be used in different industry, like in media and entertainment, in mines, ports, in power grids, or in the industrial manufacturing, and etc. So that's how is this the starting points of how we call the industry to getting smarter. All right, next one, please. A little bit scary on the pictures here, but actually what they are trying to say is that we have divided in the whole solutions and technology into probably like into phases. The first early adoptions, probably you can say it is the easier to deploy solutions. On the left hand side, probably you can see some of the application we actually start now, and even in Thailand, either on remote control, some of the unmanned car in basic functions, and also the video surveillance and VR AR. And then it goes translate into a few industry that probably will be the first adoptions. Then after we have 5G for probably next year or next 2 years, then we are entering on the second phase of 5G adoptions, then a more advanced solutions on 5G and AI base will be deployed, such as the full autonomous of connected cars or drone, and also a more advanced features of healthcare, just like the remote surgery and etc. So that will be the second phase of the 5G. Okay, so next one, please. So I have picked up some of the probably the 5G use cases, which will be probably a bit easier, or find it a bit more practical to Thailand, involving 4 vertical industries. The first one is smart healthcare. Of course, with the COVID-19 situation, so it will be one of the factors which it drives and generates more solutions of the 5G healthcare, smart healthcare into the market. And we have seen that for the past 6 months, we could be able to deliver a lot of 5G solutions, which bringing more benefits and helps on the COVID-19 to relieve the COVID-19 situation faster. The second one is on the 5G smart agriculture, which is another baseline of our Thailand industry. And the third one is lots of people are looking for is the 5G smart airports. Either is on the security side or on the convenience side, and and the automation side. Later, I'll show you some more details on that one. And the fourth cases are probably related to tourism promotions, which we deploy VR and AR into the into the industry, which probably would help brings back more of the tourism and helps promote Thailand tourism, which is one of our key industry. Okay, next one, please. Okay, so the first one that I'll go into details on the smart medical treatment. So let's go to the next page. I'll have the summary. I'll have the summary on the scope of what smart healthcare could possibly deliver. I'll separate it into three categories. The first one, those are all under the umbrella and framework of smart healthcare. The first one on the remote collaboration and doctor consultations. So we find out that actually it's not only the number of hospital resource of doctor and medical experts. Okay, so the remote consultations and the patients monitoring. Communication between doctors and patients on the remote side. This one of the things that very important. The second one, the second categories of the technologies are those technology which will be used for diagnosis and also the analysis of the disease. That we adopt CT scan and AI scan and also X-ray screening, ultrasound, to help doctor to reduce the time of analysis and reduce the numbers of people required in order to analyze the disease. The application has also been used in Thailand as well during the COVID-19. And also we introduced the robot and mobile cart in order to help to facilitate some services with indoor hospitals in order to reduce the contact of nurse service and reduce the required labor. The third category in smart healthcare are those for the monitoring and the preventive technologies, which involve the sensors and the CCTV that we could be able to use in order to scan for the abnormal temperatures of people. We could assemble the solution to be smart ICU or smart patient care, special care rooms. In case some of the patients still prohibited to allow visitors to enter the rooms. And also we also use the robotics technology in the other applications as well, such as the disinfection, spraying, surveillance, and also temperature measurements. So you can see that actually in the whole smart healthcare scopes, there are lots of applications that are available there, which is not only by the end of COVID-19. We see that these are something that we already achieved a very good start, and probably we could extend this development further in Thailand as well. Next one, please. So next one will be the aquaculture. Okay, this is probably the basic industry, the foundation industry in Thailand. So let's see what do we have. Next one, please. Okay, so in order to achieve the very successful smart agriculture use case, it needs the combination of two sides. On the left hand side are those the connectivities by 5G, and on the right hand side, which is will be the AI and image processing. So start with the left hand side, you can see that probably we can use the 5G 4K cameras. We could use the drone and also some robots in order to be involved in some agricultural process like spraying of the pesticides or or giving the waters, and also surveillance, and in order to and also capturing the picture, taking the image of the crops, and then when you transfer to the cloud and go to the AI platforms, then you can see that our AI platform would be able to analyze the possible disease or possible problems that happening to our crops in order to find the solution as early as possible. Okay, next one, please. And next one is the smart airport. This is probably is one of the most important cases that we could be able to use in order to build the trust of the foreign tourists, in order to convince them to come back to Thailand again, that we are safe and sound for the visit. So let's move into the next page. Okay, so the 5G technologies could be parts of the two sides of the services, either on the automation side, starting from the check-in, and then the baggage loading, entering into the security checks and immigration checks, then moving over to the VIP until the last step before you entering the aircraft. So this is something that 5G and AI could be able to facilitate, and reducing the manual operations, reducing the contact, and then bringing more convenience. On the other side, you can see the IoT baggage tracking, so no more problems on the mix taken of your luggage at the belt, and smart trolley as well, and also some it could be also used to do some precision marketing in order to understand that where is supposed to be the most valuable area, or probably the location that the shop should be located in the airport. So there are a variety of solutions in many aspects, in terms of both the convenience side, the marketing side, and also the safety side. Next one, please. Yes, and here are some of the samples when we are using 5G and AI video for scanning, the facial scanning and temperature scanning. With the more powerful of AI, we could scan like tens or probably hundreds of faces probably at the same time, rather than the each individual one by one scanning. So that's something quite necessary when you are deploying the solutions in the more crowded areas, such as the airport. Okay, and even that, the AI would be able to analyze your emotions, and probably like the possible whether that person might get fever or probably some symptoms as well. And at the big picture, they would be able to see the passenger density, and locate the probably the risky crowded area around the airport. Okay, so that's also a variety of 5G AI video that could be used in the crowded area. Okay, next one, please. A bit more entertaining on this one, which is 5G live broadcast and VR and AR. So as we can see on the next slide, in China, we also use the 5G technologies in order to perform some of the live broadcasts in some of the festival or events, such as the sports event, together with drone and also pocket camera as well. So as you can see that on the marathon festival before the COVID-19, so that's they combine a few of the technologies and solutions together with the drone, with 5G, and then they do live broadcasting. On the bottom right, probably you can see that this is also another advantage of 5G when they are transmitting and broadcasting a multiple of channels, which in 4K levels, they would be able to broadcast 16 channels at the same time, and that's something beyond the traditional digital TV could be able to deliver. Next one, please. Okay, and this is what the application, the AI application that they have tested in the Wembley Stadium. When you see the stadium by your bare eyes, so you see that probably the normal stadium, but once you take up your mobile phone and look through your mobile phone to the stadium, so you see more the application and the services, and that's how you could tie in the some of the gaming, some of the marketing promotion, some of the shopping as well. So that will be the revenue added for the operators, and also for the developers as well. So that's something that we hope that we can see more on the such service and application, and also VR and AR developer, content developer would be capable to do it in Thailand rather than only in the overseas. Okay, so next one. So okay, so that I believe that would be my last page of presentations. So that's within the 20 minutes. So I hope that in summary, I would be able to share with you the concept of what 5G is about, and what are the key capabilities, and how it actually affects to the people, to us as well as a users, especially after COVID-19, and some of the key special important use cases, which is something that probably we could be able to apply to Thailand soon, and that will be, we believe, will be parts of the will be part of the tools that would help to elevate and bring back Thailand digital economy in society to be stronger and stronger. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I think that will be the end of the last page of my presentation. So if you got any questions, I'll be welcome to facilitate.
Okay, thank you very much, Kun Waradan, for this very informative
Yeah.
sessions. I've been watching the questions coming up from our audience, and there are so many questions and so many people that were engaged and interested in your topic. So I'm very grateful for your very informative speech. So we just selected one single question, and then we will move on with the next guest speaker, Kun Yong Sit. So the question that we selected is related to 5G infrastructure in Thailand. And let me read it. Can Thailand cope with the cost that come with the development of infrastructure required for 5G? And how can Thailand cope with this?
The signal wasn't good just now, so can you please repeat
Oh,
the
yes.
question
So
again?
how can Thailand cope with the cost that come with the development of infrastructure required for 5G?
The cost of
Cost
the
of 5G infrastructure for Thailand.
I see. How can Thailand cope with the cost of building 5G infrastructure? Is it?
Yes.
Okay, so let me explain this way. So having 5G here, it doesn't mean it going to wipe out the 4G network from Thailand. So what you can see in the picture, probably like a pretty long time, is that the coexistence of 4G and 5G. Okay, so when we are having 5G. So that's the reason why when we are trying to introducing 5G to Thailand, we are looking for something different that 4G has never delivered before. So that's the reason why we are talking on more on the two business case to the in each of the possible vertical industry that 5G could bring a very quick benefit to that one. So that's the reason why it comes to smart healthcare, smart manufacturing, agriculture, and stuff, right? Uh, it has to do some study in particular in detail on how possible on the on developing 5Gs and together with in each of the vertical industry. So that's something that it could not be immediately answered on the costing, yeah, but that is how the logic of what when we are rolling out 5G in general that we'll be doing. So the things that we have been very familiar with 4G, that's still be very okay. Okay, and then when we need something on top of that one, then we look into 5G. So you may not be able to see 5G is like really in the everywhere and every places overlapping 4G. Okay, but the biggest challenges is that how we are putting 5G into the right place, the right locations, the right industry, especially in order to bring benefit to Thailand in every aspect. So that's probably my answer to that.
Thank you very much, Kun Waragan. So just let me remind the audience that if you like our session, please share our session on your social media so we can increase the impact of this very important webinar on the future of telecommunication. Let me introduce now Kun Yongsit Rotsrikun, who is the Chief Enterprise Business Office at AIS. Welcome, and I will pass the digital floor to Kun Yongsit. Kun Yongsit, you are muted.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Preto. Can you hear me now?
Thank you. Yes. I can
Okay,
hear
good.
you clearly.
Yes. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's my privilege as the alumni of Chulalongkorn University to have this opportunity to present today at this webinar. And welcome again, our guests, our colleagues, and audience. Well, I think Kun Waragan has given a very comprehensive and informative 5G story, very visionary. This is a very good point of Huawei because they are the 5G technology leaders. So in AIS, I would like to share more on the practical aspect of the 5G. Yeah, so I'll share with you that how AIS is doing our 5G deployment and services. And so in this pandemic, we see that the pandemic accelerate the digital transformation, as we can see from the last few years when the 4G, have been the cause of the digital disruption and digital transformation in many areas, in many industries. And we believe that with 5G, with the technology advancement and advantages, then the digital transformation is only more accelerated. So in AIS, we focus a lot on 5G. We have invested a lot of money into this. So when you ask about how we cope with the investment of infrastructure, then I think AIS is one of the players, really key player here. Sorry, the slide is not moving. Yeah.
I can see the slide now, Kun Yongsit.
Yes, okay. Let me move the slide. Sorry, we've been, I think the slide freeze because it's been on the screen for too long. Sorry.
Well, we could see the first slide, but now we see only a black background. But we actually see the first slide.
Okay, now I'll move on. Slide.
We don't actually see your slides right now.
Move. Okay, now I have a control of the slide.
Yes, perfect.
Good. Okay, so first I'd like to explain some of the basic of 5G. The way we see it in AS is that there are some key key things that help understand 5G better. First is on the two key aspects of the features. One is we call eMBB. So 5G can deliver a lot of bandwidth. Say, in 4G, we talk about, in theory, up to 1 gigabit. But in 5G, we can talk about up to 20 gigabit. In reality, in realistic application, maybe we talk about a few hundred megabits. So with these few hundred megabits, it is possible to do fixed wireless access, whereby you can use 5G as the substitute for fiber optic connection, or we can, have a more effective and more, realistic, mixed reality and AR and VR in the workplace environment. The second aspect is the devices, in terms of devices, or MMTC, whereby we're talking about massive machine type communication, or lots of devices, a lot of sensors, a lot of IoT equipment. So with the scale, the like of, say, 1 million devices per square kilometers, which more than 10 times that of 4G, then it is much better to have the control to manage application like smart city, or big utility like a solar farm and wind farm, or a power plant, and also big utility, the infrastructure like smart transportation and logistics, or say, for example, port and airports. And the third aspect is the response time, or URLLC, whereby we have a more reliable and low latency communications. So now we talked about like 1 millisecond, or 1,000th of second, more than 30 times faster than the 4G. So in this case, the application like remote surgery, or remote control, autonomous trucks, or driving, and the remote construction or mining are possible. And with this, we also need additional technology like edge computing in order to make the response time faster. So these are three key aspects that help you memorize how 5G works. At the same time, I believe that 5G is the fusion or the merging of three key aspects of technology. On one side, on the right side, you see cloud. So everything now go on the cloud. We talk about AI, the cloud computing, or the machine learning, or big data. Everything go into the cloud. Then to utilize these cloud capabilities, then we need a very big pipe, very fast bandwidth like 5G, to deliver this. And with the help of edge computing, then we reach to the devices. Now, devices can be thin, can be simple device, whereby all the processing or the intelligence or the brain go into the cloud with the fast bandwidth of 5G to deliver them. So we can have a thin client, like, for example, a cloud desktop, whereby we can use just normal mobile phone to be replacing computer PC. We can do cloud gaming. We don't need the whole server to deliver this cloud gaming, or VR and AR. So these are another concept, that the three aspects: cloud, connectivity, and devices, that fusion or merge together in the 5G era. Then another three key aspects of the network technology. On the bottom, you can see that we talk about fixed wireless access, FWA. So we can have this high-speed, fiber substitution with 5G. We can have network slicing, in which each and every application or the link can be established for each use case or even each contract. So this is network slicing. And then we have edge computing, whereby the processing, some of the processing can be put near the edge, put near the as nearest to the user as possible. So you know, we can have a faster response time. So all these three network technology make it very practical to do a more private network, as if a private network or the like of virtual private network for each customer, especially those vertical applications. And talking about bandwidth, so in AIS, I think we are probably one of the biggest 5G. Actually, in general, we are the biggest spectrum holder in Thailand. But if you know, when we focus more on 5G, I think we are probably one of the biggest spectrum holder in the world. You can see that we have 3 bands: 700 megahertz, 2.6 gigahertz, and then 26 gigahertz. On 700 megahertz, we have you know, auction to acquire 30 megahertz of bandwidth, and 2.6 we have 100 megahertz, and 26 gigahertz we have 1.2 gigahertz or 1,200 megahertz. So this is a lot of bandwidth here. So this is, you know, the manifest of how AIS, you know, putting its effort or focus on the 5G investment. And just this spectrum alone that we auctioned back in February, we are committed to pay up to 40 billion baht for this spectrum. And if combined with all the spectrum we have, which cost us in total more than 200 billion baht, and then we have about 1,400 megahertz of spectrum for 3G, 4G, and 5G, all the way from 700 megahertz and 900 megahertz, 1,800 megahertz, 2100, 2600, and 26 gigahertz. So these are more than 1.4 gigahertz of spectrum that we have in comparison to our other, you know, colleagues in the industry. And with the you know, the low latency and the high bandwidth, so we put a map here that you know, different applications, different use cases would require different you know, features. For example, if we talk about, say, a simple monitoring and sensors, you know, in which the requirement for bandwidth probably small, but and also the response time also small. So this is on the bottom left, monitoring and sensors. But let's say we want to have a wireless, you know, cloud-based office. Then in that case, we may want lots of bandwidth, you know, for the office users, like 100 meg or more per users. But the response time, maybe we're not too serious. Those who can be the slow one in terms of response. But when we go into, say, autonomous driving or VR and AR, then we may need both the big bandwidth, like up to 1 gigabit per second, and also a very fast response, say, for example, 1 millisecond, in order to deliver the you know, practical usage of VR and AR. And in the small rectangular there in the pink, you know, this is the kind of application that we can use in 4G, but 5G probably will make it even more, you know, performance. And then the gray, the bigger block of gray, then this is only application that possible with 5G. So these are the map of possible application, you know, utilizing the 5G features on response time and also the big bandwidth. Then the way to see how, you know, this bandwidth play, I mean this spectrum play. So for example, we can have again another 3 aspects. The low band, we're talking about like below 2 gigahertz. The mid band between 2 gigahertz to 3 gigahertz in the future, and then high band. So you know, say we have it's 26 gigahertz. So the lower the bandwidth, then the coverage could be larger. We can cover, you know, maybe 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers. We can cover the whole stadium. Yeah, but the bandwidth spectrum is smaller. So, for example, at 700 megahertz, we have about 30 megahertz bandwidth. Then in the mid band, the coverage may be a few kilometers, 1 kilo or 2 kilometers practically. And in 2.6, we have up to 100 megahertz of bandwidth. So this is probably the most used 5G spectrum. And in high band, we have 400 megahertz of the 26 gigahertz band spectrum. So this one, the coverage could be very small, maybe 1 or 200 meters, wide only. And in this case, there are only some specific use, like for example, indoor or outdoor, but very close by. But it can deliver a lot of bandwidth, so we can use it to substitute the last mile, connection to substitute fiber optic. Yeah. And the way we, analyze our 5G application, so we separate into 4 layers here. The first layer, the most basic one, is mobile. So we talk about providing 5G mobile handset and airtime packages, and this advanced mobile handset, then you can use it for VR, AR, or just download test movies in 4K or even 8K movies. And then the next more advanced 5G application we call in the infrastructure level. Just now I mentioned about the network technology, say for example the edge computing, network slicing, FWA, and private network. So this we consider as infrastructure, 5G infrastructure. And then the next layer is the 5G horizontal solution or products like AR, VR, AI, video analytics, or robotic. This one we can apply in many industry or many application environment. Then the upper one is the 5G vertical solution. This is more like end-to-end specific industry use cases like smart factory, smart transportation or logistics, or the airport, the seaport. So we separate into 4 layers, and this is the way we approach the market. And so for the consumer one, this is one example, but too bad because of the limitation on the videos, the file size, because this one is a gigabyte of bandwidth. So we cannot show the video today here. We show it last week in our 5G launch. But anyway, so we have prepared a lot of contents, a lot of application for our consumer mobile use case, like live concert or the show, and star dating, travel, games, wellness, and education. So a very broad services we offer to our consumer customers based on VR and AR. And in terms of 5G vertical industry, there are a lot of them. So in the picture you can see that smart factory or robot or remote control, logistic and drone, self-driving or automated warehouse, remote surgery, e-health, smart retail, AR, VR, video analytics, digital signage. Yeah, so actually, it's too many of them. So I'll go over some of the use cases that we have already, prepared and ready to serve our customers. Actually, it's just a small sample because there are many of them. The possibility are endless. And like Kun Walkan said, that it's also, how we, how our customers will apply this technology into their use case. For example, remote control crane. This is one of the port that we already put in operation. So we can remotely control the crane, which, reduce the pain point, whereby if they use people operator on the crane, then a lot of constraint because of the need for rest and break and some chip issue. If they use remote, then how to control? Like if they use Wi-Fi or use fiber optic to control, then it's not very flexible. It's not reliable. So using 5G, it become very efficient. They can have a really high quality video to see how they operate. They can have a really good response time with the help of edge computing. Then they can control really efficiently the claim. So this will be one of the really good use case in many ports all over Thailand in the future. And this is and again another simple application, horizontal product, but apply to the port. So we can have really good surveillance, video surveillance, and security in a big area like port. So we can use it in airport as well. We can use it in the industrial park. So very very simple but very practical usage. Yeah, and then we are also another simple one like remote control forklifts. This is one of the work we do with SCG for their cement warehouse. It's really dusty, it's very hot, cannot do aircon, very hard to find operators. So with remote control, for example, when we launched this before the COVID, the driver is in Bangkok, the warehouse is in Saraburi, a few hundred, more than 100 kilometers, apart, but the control is very efficient. Hope after COVID, then we can apply more of this over Thailand. A security robot, again, another simpler one. We have robot that work as a servant or patrol in a big area in industrial park. So it can detect people, detect temperature, can talk, can even spray, disinfectants if you like. Video analytics and AI for object detection. Another simple use, we can use this AI, and without 5G, then the installation and connection could be really complicated, but with 5G, really practical, because we need a high speed to process the video and see whether the staff wear proper helmet or hat and glove and protective devices. Very simple, but really helpful. Then the thermal scan, yes, again, because of the it's more practical that it can install anywhere, and it can scan many people at the same time, and even also recognize the face. Yeah, so this is good for the COVID time. Advanced digital signage, again, another simple application but useful. Yeah, we plan to deploy this signage in initially in 400 AS shop nationwide. So when the person stand in front of the signage, then it will respond with person-like contents, and we have a different scenario. So different people or different even group of people, then you have a selective content to show. So this is very effective in terms for marketing purpose. So we can use in the airport, as the flight information. We can use as a wayfinder in the big place, or in the shopping mall as a marketing tool. In the fitting room for the for testing the dress, or in hotel for information, in hospital, in restaurant, and in the as a reception for lobby. And we also have a VR tour. For example, we already launched the tour to our data center. Instead of having to visit the physical place, say the data center, or say showroom for house and condominium, then users can use the VR or can remotely visit those places. So this make it much more practical, and also given this COVID time, so it's become a big help. And a few maintenance using the glasses or the helmet, to be free and to work on the field. And also similarly, the security surveillance. So this camera that see 360 degree can have multiple views when the security guard walk around. And so I'd like to also touch a little bit on the economic side of 5G. Just now, Kun Petro, you talk about by 2025, 100 $50 billion, right? So I have another a top up another 10 years, 2035. There's another forecast. Actually, this is by Telecom. Give them a credit. Yeah. So the worth of goods and services enabled by 5G will be up to $12 billion, and it creates more than 20 million jobs, and the driving the GDP growth worldwide of $3 trillion. So that's very significant in terms of economic impact. And for Thailand, we have a forecast with the CAGR, the accumulated growth of between the next 5 years, then it will be about 18 to 20%. And that on the consumer market, we forecast it will be about 15 billion to 21 billion baht, which is about 60% of the 5G market value. And in enterprise size, we about 10 to 14 billion baht, so about 40% of the market size. And so this, the forecast we get from A.T. Kearney. Okay, so my last slide. Well, talk about 5G, but how about AIS itself? I mean, people are more familiar is on the mobile side. So on the left side, these are services or products offered by AIS for the consumer customers. We have on the top mobile 3G, 4G. Next is Wi-Fi, combined with 4G up to 1 gigabit, and then 5G. And we have more than 40 million customers here. So we're the biggest operator in Thailand. We have fixed broadband. So now we have more than 1 million fiber to home customers, and our connected fiber homes is more than connected home pass is more than 6 million home pass. And in terms of video, we have AIS Play, and we have many services like Netflix and many others. Payments, we are joint partner of Rabbit Live Pay. So this big customer base here. And in terms of loyalty program or privileges, we have Serenade. Maybe many of you are probably the users, and we have one of the biggest call center in Thailand. So this is the consumer side of the business, and we extend this big customer base and infrastructure of consumer to our enterprise. So again, similarly on mobile, we have 4G and 5G as well. M2M IoT. Yeah, we are among the earliest provider of IoT. And the fiber network, we have more than 160,000 kilometers of fiber connecting more than 80,000 base stations we have in Thailand. So we extend this to our corporate customers as well. In terms of data center, we have more than 9 data centers over Thailand, from the north to the east to the south, and cloud, because we actually all of our internal services we put on cloud. So we offer this to our customers as well. And we have big data and digital services with our subsidiary company, and also we have cyber security. So you can appreciate that with such a big network, we must have a very good protection for our network and for our customers. So we are also having a big cyber security product and service offering as well. We have our own SOCs, Cyber Security Operations Center. We provide 24/7 and incident response or even forensic to our customers. So this snapshot of is business both on the consumer side and the corporate side or the enterprise side. So this is my last presentation, and thank you very much for your time. And I'll welcome any question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Khun Yongsit, for a very insightful speech and presentation. I really like how you touch upon the key features of 5G, network technologies, all the layers of application, and even the economic impact. It's really useful information for our students and also the audience. Yeah, we actually have so many questions from the audience to ask you, but we can wait upon the end. And due to the time constraint, we might have just a few questions. Yeah, just to let you know.
Okay.
And for the audience, everyone who is listening and joining the webinar session, to help increase the awareness of the importance of 5G and to unlock all the potentials, please feel free to share the webinar link, and also you can like the Facebook page and also the YouTube session that we are on now. just to help boost, the technology that we want to have it coming to Thailand very soon. So now we would like to invite Kun Noppadon from Lumentum. So as Mr. Waragan and Mr. Yongsit touched upon all the 5G aspects, we can see that we also, they mentioned the capability, including the latency, bandwidth, reliability from the device. And this 5G technology wouldn't be possible without considering the manufacturing aspect and all the optical device and subsystem in the infrastructure. So we would like to hear from Kun Noppadon from Lumentum on the manufacturing view and also the perspective from you during the pandemic. Please, Kun Noppadon.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So thank you again, Kun Petro and Aranya. So this is a very good session. I'm listening to Kun Waragan and Kun Yongsit. I'm very excited and cannot be waiting for 5G and many technologies to come to us to help Thailand as great opportunities and convenience, helping us for the better living life and also economics and business in Thailand, right? So as Kun Warinya just mentioned, either AS as a service provider or Huawei, who is a very one of the biggest technology or system provider that are very close and next to the end user. Lumentum is one of the company that provide the technology as a components and equipments as a background. So I would like to share from manufacturing point of view. So wait a minute, I want this share to. Hope you see my screen.
Okay, we are about to see your screen.
Yeah, we see it. Yeah, pretty clear.
Is that okay? Is a single page or double page?
Perfect.
Yeah,
One
one
screen.
okay.
Good. So as I just mentioned, right? So as everyone knows that COVID-19 pandemic is affect every business, every industry. But you can see from the data here, only the online, internet, or electronics has been growing since the opposite side from the others. Why was that? And so some source of information that we heard and we see from Kun Waragan and Kun Yongsit is that come from the travel ban, isolation, online school, or whatever that we do to prevent the spreading of the COVID-19, right? So that's the cause, the root cause that the demand on the internet bandwidth using is up to 150%, right? So in Lumentum, we also use that kind of service as well. So for US, you can see that from before COVID-19 and during the COVID-19, all the application or activities that use the internet or the mass data transfer from the network require, and the requirements are also always increasing, especially for gaming. That's already the data that happened in January to March, right? So that bring to why the 5Gs or the high-speed internet will be very, very important, not only for the COVID, but going forward in the future for the global, right? So I put the highlight there. So that because of the internet or the data transfer requirements for the demand point of view, so optical network is a key one as a working behind the scene to provide those kind of feature or capability that allow us to use or send or receive all the big size and large package of the data, right? So how Lumentum involve or support to have those kind of high-speed internet, right? So for the people who don't know about Lumentum, we are the company who own the technology about the laser and lighting, right? We separate into 4 big business units, which is data communication, network, telecom network, high power laser, which is a commercial laser, and the last one is the 3D sensing. So you can see that 3 out of 4 are related to the 5Gs. Why I can say that? For the 3D sensing, Kun Yongsit and Kun Varagan talking about the VR system, the face recognition, thermal scan, or AI, robots. So those kind of 3D sensing will be a key one. How can we detect it? How can we recognize and translate information into the programming and react accurately, timely, right? But today, since we are talking about manufacturing or technology in terms of equipment, how can we support the network of the optical network for telecommunication? I will focus and share you on 2 business units that we have. Actually, both of them are in the optical communication network, right? So just a simple diagram here. Maturity of the telecommunication network from optics. So you can see from the top of the screen, right? Let me show you pointer here. Here, this is a end-to-end of the telecommunication network from the area that with the colors. Those are involved the optics, right? The rest of them still an electrical wire, right? But to allow us to do that, you can see that we have to convert from electrical or electronic signal to be an optics. So we need the equipment called optical transceiver module that will convert back and forth between optic and electronics, right? To allow us to send and receive and convert the data. We're talking about the speed of the signal from 10 gigabit per sec up to 100 gigabit per sec. Those are the technology that we deploy into the field or the network right now. We're starting to deploy 400 gigabit per sec in numbers of the system right now, but it's not that really high yet, since the system or the demand, the architecture for 100 gigabit per sec still available and can support, right? But in terms of the technology, not only Lumentum, but also the other companies, we already ready for 400 gigabit per sec technology, right? So that is the client side or the interface to the user, right? But if we're talking about the transport or the core network of the system or the optical telecommunication network, the key equipment is the ROADM or the equipment to do a switching, add, drop signal, and also amplify the signal and send out to multiple networks or channels, right? So as I mentioned, so to support the 5G or any high-end or high data, mass data transfer. So we need the ROADM technology, the key equipments there or technology there will be WSS wavelength selective switch and amplifier. So the architecture, as shown in the diagram here, is quite a little bit detailed there, but you can see that we can put in only one simple block there, that is including M by N up to 20 channels or channel input and output of the wavelength selective switch. So you can imagine that we can switch in and out about up to 20 channel or 20 wavelengths at a time. So that is the key one why we can receive the signal of the data a lot in a limit of the time, right? So that should be the technology in background, right? So one of the examples that I want to share, I want to show you that's using widely, but we as a technology owner, we also use this kind of technology to help us during the COVID-19 pandemics. Normally, we will have the new products transfer to manufacturing from R&D, which is in Zurich, Switzerland, US, Canada, Italy, and UK, right? The R&D people will travel to the sites of manufacturing to train the people on site how to build, how to verify and validate the products before launch to the market. But during this kind of traveling ban, so we take this kind of crisis to be a benefits or the opportunities using the technology that we already have deployed, right? So we use the remote R&D and NPI activities to train, starting from the new products introduction, the process and equipment setting up, verification, release to production, and also the product qualification. The diagram that I show here as the left-hand side will be the activities we use in Thailand, and we also having the same set from Zurich, which is the R&D, as one good example, and we use a ring center at the connection channel, right? So you can see that this is one of the example. How can we do that successfully? On the left top, right, you can see that this is a small screen that showing the people from the Zurich will explain to the people from Thailand who are in the live production time, and the people from production area, the new NPI line will also setting up and demonstrate. They will talk to each other, fine-tune and collect the things until get the job done, or even the test data. They will show there. They can read the data real time. They can see whatever what we are doing or implementing in Thailand is just they can realize that it's good or not. If they want to tweak or improve anything on their design side, they can do right away. So with this kind of thing, we can be success in the last 3 months. We can success to set up 2 new product line and 4 products introduction and launch and release to production that help us to move to the next step of the technology to support the optical network. When we come back, or even the demand from the mass data transfer in internet will be higher than this, we will have the technology to be ready to support that demand, right? So this is my last slide. So in the summary, In the opposite side of the many industry was slowing down regarding to the COVID-19, but on the telecom side, internet side, business side, the demand is very strong, not slow down, but increase, will continue increasing. With a very good discipline, the good control for the governments and the Thai people, that we help each other to prevent the spreading, help us as Lumentum factory continue to the production operating 100%. We can supply the equipment to support the network for all the customer on time, and even the demand pulling in, we also can support, right? But that can happen with the proactive awareness and also the discipline across the company, across the commodities that we are living with, right? With that, even we have our employees who support the factory working from home for 50% in February to June, but we still can remotely control the production line, the manufacturing activities perfectly, right? And we are going to come back to office and to the factory 100% starting from the 1st of July. That will continue to be confident and strong supply to the business, and also the demand on the internet, high-speed internet requirements, right? So, and the most important is that we did not slow down or has any impact at all on the research and development and new production transfer and launching into mass production in Thailand, right? As I mentioned many times, is Thailand is very confident. The customer or our corporate in Lumentum corporate are very appreciate in government in Thailand, and also very happy for the facility that we have in Thailand, that we can continue to supply and continue operating the production, right? So, and more the new product coming into Thailand, facility for Lumentum to continue to build a new product, develop a new product to support the new technology or the new edge of the internet high speed will help us to support, right? Just two picture in the last slide that I just want to mention about. So this is the success of one of the products launching in Thailand. You can see that the people in the picture are the people in Thailand, Navanakon site, and the people on the screen there are the people from the R&D from Zurich and US site that they work with us. They contact with our success as well, right? And on the right-hand side, those are the people who come from production line, from manufacturing. We still running as full stream and continue to deliver the products to support the networks. And that is a very successful story from Lumentum. And the part of this is the technology of the high-speed internet, especially 4G or 5G that we have in the past, that will help us to be more and more successful. And that is all that I want to share to everyone here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for Chulalongkorn University for giving us the chance to share this. And this is a very good session that, and thank you again.
Thank you very much, Khun Noppadol, for sharing this very interesting information on the manufacturing side to us. It's really, we are so glad to hear that a leading manufacturing company like Lumentum can survive the pandemic, without any impact on the demand, and to deliver the product R&D pipeline. So Now I think that we have a little bit of time for the Q&A session. So maybe Dr. Petro, you may start with the ones related to the business side.
Yes, so we actually received an overwhelming amount of questions, so we are vetting the questions, and we chose like some of the questions that we got from the audience. So I have one that is kind of generic, and I would like to ask this to both Kun Yongsit and Kun Nopadon. So does 5G come with potential threats at both technology and business level?
Should I go first?
Oh yes, Kun Yongsit, you can go first.
Okay, I see. Well, I don't think that we should look at technology as a threat. We can't stop new technology coming, right? And so I think it is for us to adopt, to learn, to trying to make use of the technology to improve our way of life, to improve our quality of life and businesses. So I don't think it's a threat. Yeah, and we see that 3G, 4G. When we always say that, some people say that there's a digital disruption, but this is only one side of the coin. But there's another side of the coin, is the digital transformation that help us, in our daily life, in the businesses, in the education, in communication, in healthcare. So many aspects that very positive with the digital transformation. So in this case, I think 5G only make it better.
Yeah, I totally agree with Kun Yong said. Again, everything will be two sides of the coins, right? It will be pro and cons, but I think technology will always help us as a global to be better and better, right? And this, for example, the COVID-19 pandemics. If we look at this, right? If this kind of pandemics happened in the past without internet, without a high-speed internet technology, I believe that we will not be here. We cannot talk and we cannot share this kind of interesting and exciting one, right? So we should look at this as an opportunities and make use of it. How can we utilize it to improve our life and our economies, our worlds to be next step? I think that would be the point of view that we should consider and look at it.
Thank you very much. Let me move on to the next question. So our audience asked whether 5G connectivity can be implemented all across Thailand. And I think that this is probably a question more for Kun Yongsit and AIS. And especially if there will be any digital divide between Bangkok metropolitan area and the rest of the kingdom.
Well, 5G is a big investment. As I mentioned, that we already committed to pay 40 billion baht for the spectrum. This is part of the 5G. We have to pay in total about 200 billion baht, and we have to amortize over 15 years. So we paid 3G in 2012. We paid 4G in 2015. We haven't paid. I mean, we paid already, but we haven't recovered our cost yet. Then we have to invest in the network. So for 3G and 4G, right now we have more than 99% population coverage, and we already spent more than 200 billion baht of the network deployment. For 5G, in the last 3-4 months, after we successfully bid for the spectrum in February, we already spent 40 billion baht to put 5G network. But that's only, well, I would say that about 50% of the geographical coverage and less than 20% of the population coverage. So it's a long way to go. We only spent 40 billion baht for that. So if you ask how long it takes, then it's also have a lot to do with the adoption And the more adoption of the people, then the faster we can deploy. So right now, the biggest focus, there are two locations. One is in Bangkok, and the other one is in the EEC area, the three provinces, the key strategic, government destination of the government. So these two locations, we almost have 100% of the physical coverage, geographical coverage. But the rest is much lower. Like in major cities like Chiang Mai or Phuket. But then we also have at least some smaller coverage in every province. At least give the people the test of 5G. But in any case, if let's say more and more consumer or more and more corporate use 5G, for corporate, actually another business model is that we can put a private network. We can put more specific coverage for corporate or factory or facilities like port and airport. But for consumer, the handset, let's say, is always backward compatible. That means that the same 5G handset, it will be compatible with 4G and 3G. So if you're in the 5G coverage, then you can use 5G. But outside of 5G coverage, then the speed performance will be reduced to 4G and 3G. So in that case, I think it's good enough, and this is the experience worldwide that this mode or this way of deploying and using 5G is quite practical worldwide.
So what would you say if it's for the readiness of Thailand to adopt a 5G operation right now, like currently?
I think it's very, very challenging, both the consumer side and the enterprise side. For the consumer side, really few handsets available. So we already see some purchases and usage of 5G. We officially launched 5G only last week on the 25th of June. We have a 5G launch, but it's a virtual event, by the way. It's online like this. It's like this webinar, not physical. And but actually the network is ready since June, 1st of June. Then we see a few thousand users already. But we're talking about AS have 40 million, so a few thousand is still very small. For enterprise size, there are some few users already, but still a long way to go. So in terms of adoption, I think we're still very beginning, very, very beginning. So I hope that the more adoption, it will also help accelerate the more deployment of 5G.
Thank you, Khun Yongsit. Let me ask one more question. So if a company would like to conduct research and development to align with 5G technology in Thailand, what will be the priorities for this company, and what kind of action plan would you suggest for them to align with 5G technology?
Okay, well, I think the adoption, like we always have this joke in the company in terms of 5G for companies. Good news is 5G can do a lot of things. Many applications, many use cases. Also, 5G, because of these too many applications, where to start? Because for each company there can be many ways to use. For example, if you are manufacturing, then you may use 5G for, say, automation, more automation, or more sensor or detections, or even a simpler like robotic or your video analytic. So there are many ways to apply. So it's a bit hard to say, but this is a very challenging question. And for the investment part of the infrastructure for the operator like us, it's only half the story. The other half of the story is on the user side. So we wish that more and more users will, spend their effort and money to, make use of these technologies. And but in Thailand, our system is in such a way that the government charge a lot for the spectrum. Okay, so our cost is not cheap. We have to spend a lot of money not only to build a very big network, but we also have to spend a lot of money for the spectrum fee. So, but you know, as you can see that in Thailand, usually our mobile phone service is not expensive. I mean, it's cheap enough. So we have to do a lot to achieve that kind of economy scale and cost reduction. So at the same time, on the user side, so I hope that the user are encouraged to you know, adopt 5G technology and you know, grow the usage so that you know, the more adoption then give us more you know, momentum to deploy the network. But how to encourage that? I hope that if the government you know, don't subsidize or don't support the operator like us, actually they charge extra on us. But I hope that the government can give more support to the users, especially corporate users, strategic industries, to adopt more 5G. You know, give them, you know, more tax, you know, like exemption or tax incentive, you know, and for them to do the R&D to apply 5G in their industry. So I hope that this will be the way to go for the user side. Yeah.
Well, from my point of view, I believe that, and my observation is that the government is very supportive on this one. I think to speed up or expedite how can we have the 5G deployed across Thailand, I think it's just about the demand, right? If demand comes, the service provider will invest for sure, right? A few things that I want to refer to based on the government supports, right? As Lumentum, we are working with very close with the NECTEC, right? We work together how we implement or do R&D in the factory, right? The BOI also really support anything of related to the AI, right? In the manufacturing or application that we use, the tag extension will be supported by the government, right? So in last couple of weeks, we also have the NECTEC team to visit us, and when we exchange the ideas or the technology roadmap, how can we design or implement a new age of manufacturing to engage with the government's organization into our companies and all the other companies in this area as well. So that's why I can see that. But anyway, for 5G, I think demands and how we can promote the application, make the costs touchable, right, for the people. I think that will be the accelerated one.
So thank you very much. I think we are running a little bit out of time right now. So, I mean, but still we wanted to ask you a few questions because we received so many from our audience. I would like to ask you whether it would be possible to receive your presentation and even just like a preview of your presentation. So then we can share with our audience if that is okay with you.
No problem.
It's okay with me.
Okay, wonderful. So I think we can maybe like share just like a preview of your presentation on our Facebook page later on. So as to allow all our audience to go through our very interesting webinar today and to do any like follow-up activities, or if you want to learn more about Huawei, about AIS, and about Lumentum, they were so kind to share their very precious time. I know how busy you are, so I'm truly grateful for you to spend this very insightful session with us. And I would like to thank you one more time for this.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kun Yongsit and Kun Noppadol.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is the end of our session. Let me thank our audience as well. And please follow our pages on Facebook and our YouTube channel to keep updated to all the news and the coming webinars. We have one more webinar in the pipeline with a focus on innovation and industry, and particularly on automotive industry. So it is also very important industry in Thailand. So please keep following us, and we will share more news with you. Thank you very much all for being with us today. Thank you. Bye bye. Sawadee krap.
Thank you ครับ
Thank you
สวัสดีครับ
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 Thank you